My guest for this episode is Dan Rosies, the founder of the 1645 group.
Thank you for agreeing to do this.
That's all right, man. Thanks so much for having me.
No problem, no problem. I think the last time we saw each other was maybe 10, 11 years ago, which
Oh,
is...
Now I'm going to start aging.
Wait, it's when you think of the numbers, right?
Yeah, I can feel the grey hairs coming through now.
Exactly. But, we can do all the preamble and go, oh my gosh, like, what have we been doing for the last 10 years?
Yeah.
But, as you know, the concept of this podcast, of this particular show is, well, to understand the process behind your business,
Yeah.
right? So I think we can just start with that, and we can always catch up after the fact. Exactly. So 1645 is the name of your startup.
Yep.
What is it exactly?
So the 1645 group is a health and wellbeing collective. We tend to focus more on the physical aspects to health. We have personal training, strength and conditioning coaching for athletes, sports massage, yoga. So it's really about trying to engage with that. We engage with people to really develop their understanding and their skill set within just achieving a bit more physical health aspects they might have.
Excellent. You say we. How many are you?
So at the moment it's me, myself, and I. So there's three of us.
I love that. I love that. You got to also give the sort of impression, because I think that's kind of what I did.
Yeah.
And anytime I talk about my business, I always go we. Because there's always that. You're always projecting into the future and going, we're going to build a team, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
And it does feel like you're doing a lot of work. So it's like, we have to do all of this.
And then, but I do have I've got a health coach that works with me as well. So we dip into that kind of the coaching side of things on a kind of less physical, but more talking through your goals, your ambitions, and what you want to achieve. So we've got a health coach that works alongside of us as well. And then obviously you've got the help with the marketing and all this kind of stuff. So, I love it. It's, the marketing's all done within the family as well. So it's a nice little collective so far.
Excellent. How did this idea come about?
So So before switching into the into kind of fitness industry and this side of things now, I worked in the music industry for a lot of years. And basically in 2019, I woke up one morning, I wasn't feeling fulfilled anymore. I didn't feel like I was making much of a difference. And for me, I'm very feeling directed. If I'm not passionate about something anymore, then I'll close that chapter and I'll always start a new one. So April 2019, I basically handed in my notice at the job I was in. I then was working with my dad in the gym a week later, and we were just discussing about what the next chapter was going to be, where did I want to go. And he said, it was like, well, why don't you look at going into personal training? And then all of a sudden there was that aha moment. And everything from the days when we were in university together to all the way through the music industry, fitness and health had always been a major part of my life, the way I spent my time, what I did. So 2 weeks later, I enrolled. I was retraining to become a personal trainer.
When did this happen? Around what?
This was April 2019. So March, April time. And then, which gosh, is already coming up to 2 years nearly now.
Incredible.
And the idea had always been out the back of that was to go freelance, do my own thing. And then I unlocked that idea of there was so much more to learn than just the basic level of this is how you get someone fit, this is how you get someone healthy. And, as then time progressed, it's, extra qualifications just came flowing in. And as soon as I was coming into finishing of one project, I would be already signing up to do another qualification and learning more about that. And it's the hunger for knowledge and understanding of this area, just it seemed to unlocked. And so then in 2020, January 2020, I launched the 1645 group. It was at that point a bit of a side hustle. I was working full time for a gym, and it was like, I would be working my hours in the gym, doing all of that on the as a kind of shift manager and team leader role. And then, as soon as I wasn't working, I was then training clients and, helping them just unlock their hunger for getting fit and getting healthy again. And then all of a sudden it just got so much, and it was just like, I've got to turn this side hustle into a full-time thing. I've really just got to pour all of my energy into the 1645 group, and just otherwise, who knows where it's going to go. So mid-February 2020,
Pre-pandemic.
yeah, pre Big C, I went full time into it. I wasn't going to be a half in, half out anymore. I was dedicated. We were going to go for it. So from February 2020, the 1645 group was a full-time thing, just going for it.
Awesome. So from February up until this point, what has that schedule been like?
It's been different, I
can
would
imagine.
yeah, to be honest, I thrive off not chaos, but I thrive off that sense of panic for myself. It's,
What was that panic for yourself, or was it the general panic that was going on in the world at large?
I think the world as a general was, obviously, we were in a state at that point. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. We didn't know how long this was going to be going on for. For me, it was more of I've just gone into this full steam ahead, and I'm very much an all or nothing kind of guy. And there wasn't an option to go back into full-time employment at this point. The gym I left on very good terms with them. They actually kind of gave me the boost to go forward and go and conquer. And I ended up picking up extra little bits of work with them throughout the pandemic, which was great. Just like checking the building, things like, everything I've been trained to be doing for them. They basically said, just, we've got no one local. Can you come in, just check everything's all right, and doing that. So that was a real blessing, because that kept me founded, and it kept me grounded in knowing that I had work coming through. Then I basically took a step back. I still remember the day that the gyms were all announcing to get closed. I got a call from the duty manager in the afternoon, and I was pre-planning all everything for the weekend, and he was like, "Dan, I got bad news. Gyms are closing. We don't know how long it's going to be for, but I need you to come in and just do a couple of hours each week, just keeping everything ticking over for us." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely fine." But my gosh, this is not a good time to go into a business full time. But it was, though. It was, because it allowed me just to throw everything I had into it, which was great. At that point, I was just finishing off a sports massage qualification. I just passed all the
What's sports massage?
So sports massage is a type of massage, but it's more of deep tissue. So it's about, assisting with the recovery and just getting the muscles all back into shape again, pre, post event and these kind of stuff. So I had a whole lot of theory work I need to be doing with that. So, I was up at the crack of dawn. I was getting more research done. I was completing more courses. It was business as normal. And I saw it as that. And, we were fortunate then if we fast forward through the pandemic, as restrictions started easing, I had access to a beautiful outside area for doing training. And so, which allowed me to be the 2+ meters away from a client, but then working with them at a safe distance, which abide with the government guidelines, which, was perfect, because then we had the whole space to ourselves. We weren't sharing it with anyone else, which allowed my clients then to have that solitude in their training. That was what we had when we were training pre-COVID, but now they could still be working on everything outside. And that was a blessing. It everything throughout the pandemic seems to have just fallen nicely into exactly where it is. And if it hasn't been the perfect fit, we make it fit. I'm very much of that kind of culture, which there's always a solution. The first kickback and the first roadblock to stop you from getting to that point isn't enough to stop me. So
that's awesome. So there are a lot of things to unpack there, but I do want to go back to the origins of 1645.
Yeah.
How did that name come about?
So the 1645 is actually a time in the day. It's 4:45. It's 5:45 p.m. So wherever I am at that point of day, I've actually got an alarm set on the watch. And the alarm...
I literally thought it was like 1645, the year 1645.
If I had a penny.
I was like, wow, this guy is very I don't know what the word is, but it was like it had that kind of historical ancestry vibe to it. I'm like, wow, that's, but yeah, carry on.
So no, it's a lot simpler than that. It's a time in the day, and it's a time to just pause, reflect, consolidate everything that has happened throughout the last X amount of hours of being awake through this day. I start the day off pretty much the exact same way as I do every day. I get up, do a bit of yoga, meditate, bit of breathing work, and then make a list of everything that needs to be done during the day. That 1645 alarm allows me then just to take a pause, step away, and just evaluate everything that's happened and be thankful for what I've managed to do so far. A lot of people tend to have their own ways of being thankful for the day and thankful for what they've achieved, and consolidate and look through whether or not it's as simple a thing as a list on your computer. But for me, it's the key point. It's that point in the day where traditionally your work day is ending. Traditionally, then it's that last minute rush to get as much as you can done. But rather than panicking through it, it's about taking a step back and just seeing the journey that's unfolded already throughout this day, and then also then looking at what needs to be added onto the next day. So
you know what, this doesn't surprise me, because I remember I think we had a house party back in the day, and I think we got a glimpse of your room, and it was perfectly, I don't know if you remember this, but I was like, your room is so perfectly sorted and aligned. So none of this surprises me. But I do have a question, because this is a business.
Yeah.
And it's also, so the cynical side of me goes, this is a great marketing ploy. But like I said, I know you, so I'm also inclined to go, okay, I'm pretty sure he does this routinely. When did the 1645 philosophy come into play?
It came into play naturally towards the end of me working in the music industry. It was actually the 1645 theory method, whichever way you want to look at it, was actually a real alarm that I set on my watch. And where I used to work, obviously working in the music industry, I did a variety of different things over the years. But one thing that was always common is that around 5 o'clock, you would get a text from somebody or get an email from someone saying, "Hey, I got this band playing tonight. Do you want to come along? I'll put you on the list. I'll see you there at the show. Let's get dinner beforehand." And so at 5 o'clock, no matter what plans you had that evening, they traditionally, for me, went out the window. And you end up going to a gig, you end up chatting with people you haven't seen in ages, you get introduced to new people, and then all of a sudden, what was meant to be a dinner and then just seeing the opening band play and then dashing off ends up with crawling into bed late. It's constantly, the diet and nutrition isn't where it should be. You're exhausted because I had planned to go to the gym and focus on my physical health at this point in the evening and this point in my day, and it goes out the way. And so that original alarm was actually set at 4:45, went off Monday to Friday, and it was a reminder that I've set in stone things that I need to do tonight. And it's we still had that consolidation period of, this is everything I've done over the week, over the day. This is everything I've achieved. This is all great. Now stop, pause, and look at what needs to be done this evening. And it was about setting priorities. So for the cynical ones, I think, man, that's a really good marketing ploy. That's a great story behind it. But it was. And the thing is, it helped me. The moment I put that in place, that this is the milestone, this is the point where I need to say, I'll come to the show tonight if I get that opportunity. I'll come to dinner tonight if I get the chance to. But first, I need to look after myself. I'm the main priority. If I'm not up, running and working, then I'm not used to anybody.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's absolutely right. I mean, you got to be able to prioritize yourself first, and not in a selfish way, in the sense that if you're going to be of use to anyone, you're going to have to be functional. You're going to be functional, basically. Exactly. So like I said, I know you, so I know there's it feels organic, like prior to the business starting out, there's a philosophy that you already adopted to your life that kind of carried out naturally into what you're doing now. Well, sticking on the 1645, how did the brand identity come around? So who designed the logo? Who put together? How did that concept come about or crystallize in your mind?
Pardon?
2 questions there.
2 questions. No, I like it. Everything was in-house. Everything was me. The design, the build. I'm very much a hands-on person. When I launched last January 2020, a year ago, I needed a website. I needed someone to do my ticketing. I needed for group classes and things. I needed a booking system. I needed whatever I needed to do to make this work. So, for the website side of things, I didn't have time to relearn WordPress. I'd known it from, working for a tech company within the music industry, and just lightly knowledge. I wouldn't say it's that in depth, but, at that time then, so I used a website building software, which, did the job until the point I had then a chance to relearn WordPress. So this year, January, relearned how to use WordPress, relaunched and redesigned the website, which went live 2-3 weeks ago now, with a brand new website. Ticketing, I used to work for a tech company within music who specialized within ticketing and that event side of things. I went with them for a while. They took me so far. And then, the integration with the new site, I then explored out. And it's about taking another person's software and another business and then integrating that into what I need to. So everything on that tech side of things has all been very much finding what I need and what packages and what services fitted what I needed to do. And then integrating that in, and again, not stopping at a roadblock, but just building it and getting it through. It's getting it going. The design elements, so all the logo side of things, all in-house. It was all me again. The logo actually came off. It's a watch face almost. It's the block lettering. I had the watch face on I had to look at the watch face every day. It's so all of a sudden it just gets stuck in your mind as like, actually, hold on, it's more or less, it's that time of the day. It looks like that watch face. There's at the gym that I work out of, there's this beautiful basketball clock on the wall, which if you time it right and you get in there for 16:45, it's exactly the same thing. It's just the numbers come up, it lights up. It was that logo. And so for me, it was a natural progression to then for the design elements to take that through. The color scheme side of things and that it's all very much, it's very black and white, the same way that I feel that fitness is. Everything is black and white. Do you train? Yes or no? There's no maybe or did you train yesterday? Oh, I might have. No, you didn't. You either did or you didn't train yesterday. Did you take time to evaluate and look at yourself for today? Well, it's very much a black or white thing, yes or no. So it was a very natural progression to kind of try and move with those color schemes and those side of things. If that answers that.
Yeah, that's a perfect answer. Well done. You get a first class on that one.
That's the first class I've ever had.
You're welcome. So I guess we can focus on what the actual essence of 1645 is, right? So when you have a client, how do you go about encouraging them, setting up a plan for them? Like what's the process in that I suppose activity?
So first things first is that every client is different. Every client is on their own physical journey. Everybody is at that different point in their journey. For some people, they may have been walking alone for the last 5-10 years of this journey, training by themselves, trying to get through it, coming left and right. Some people are right at the beginning. Some people have stopped for a few years and they found this lovely B&B on the way of their journey and they just couldn't leave it. So first things first is understanding who the client is and where they've come from and where they are at. The next thing is then trying to work out what the client enjoys. If you enjoy going on long runs and you could run for hours, then I am not going to make you sit and sprint at 30-second sprints constantly, yelling at you, saying you got to do this, you got to do this. Because the thing is with this journey is that if you don't enjoy the journey, then you're not going to want to stay on this journey. For me, it's not about working with a client, helping them achieve their goals, then looking back, taking a step back once they've achieved that goals over those 4, 8, 12-week programs, and then saying, gosh, darn it, I am amazing. Like, I'm a great trainer. I'm a great coach. Like, did you see what I did? Did you see what I did? It's very much, it's not even very much. It is completely client focused. The client is the number one priority every time, and that is still rooted within the 1645 group, and it's client first every single time. There are 1,000 ways to skin a cat, but or was it 100 ways to skin a cat? There's 100 ways to skin a cat. It's probably 1,000.
Yeah.
But it's the same way with working with clients. You know, it's yes, the fundamentals are there for when you're working with a client they will have their specific goals, and science and backed research will tell you that you've got to do X and Y to achieve Z. You've got to do A and B to achieve C, and those fundamentals still come into play. But most importantly, it's about making the client understand that this is what we've got to do to achieve this. But again, it's all client focused, so it's about finding a way that they'll actually enjoy that. It's client first every time. It's
excellent.
Yeah.
As you said, it's client first every time, and I guess that's an approach that the most successful businesses adopt. Is there such a thing as a difficult client? And if so, how do you address that?
A typical client don't want to be there with me. No, I joke. There is no such thing as a typical client. You know,
difficult.
Oh, difficult. I thought you said typical.
No. A difficult client.
Oh, okay. Well, which case?
Because I can imagine that, like you said, everyone's on their own journey.
Yeah,
People love to exercise. Some people love to exercise. Some people struggle with it. Some people just don't even know how to wrap their head around the concept, but they do want to, they want to be fit and what have you. But they're also different temperaments. Have you dealt with a difficult client? And if so, how did you address that? Or how do you normally address a difficult client if there's such a thing?
I can honestly say, and maybe it might be my personal outlook, but I've never had a difficult client.
Okay. Is there such a thing as a difficult client?
I don't think so. I think if you hit that roadblock and that negativity block of this is a difficult client, I don't know what to do, I'm just gonna back off and just let them, then you've already lost the battle. It's everybody is unique. Everybody has their own ways of wanting to train. Everyone's got their own goals that they want to achieve. You can't back away from one thing and say, oh, this is a difficult client. You could back away from the idea of, I might not be fully prepared to work with this client and give them the best response. Now that would be the only thing within that direction that I could see. And for that, I'm very fortunate. I've got a very strong network of trainers, coaches, physiotherapists. So it's not that a client is difficult as per se, it's that my skill set is not developed for this client. So in which case, in that sense, it's not that, it's that isn't a point then that you try and break through barriers. That is a point then where it's having a conversation with a client and saying, hey, look, this is your goal. It's X goal. Now, I can get you along that journey and I can work with you along that journey. However, I've got a friend who is qualified within that certain area, and you will be better suited going to see this other coach, trainer, physio, because they will be able to assist you in taking you further along that goal. And I think that's the key to it. And it's the key of not trying to hold every card in the pack, in the deck. It's about knowing where your specialities lie, where your strengths are. And then if that does not fit in your realm, then it's about being able to basically say to someone, as like, look, I can't assist you as well as what I would like to. And it's that quality over quantity theory all over, constantly. It's about providing the quality service rather than providing all of the service. And I can do this for you. I'll get you sorted. I'll get you this stuff. And it's like, as a health professional, you could potentially be making things worse. This potentially is a little bit different to other industries and other sectors because, it might be that, if you were doing digital marketing and it's like, oh, what do you know about this social platform? Oh man, we know everything about this social platform. And,
They want your money, basically.
yeah, exactly. And, and I'm don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking it. I think it's a brilliant way to grow. However, I know for the current stages of where the 1645 group is at, the skill sets that are within the 1645 group, I know there is a select area that we would cover. And if you have a client whose goals and targets lie outside of that area, it will be, I'm happy to help and get you as far as on the journey as I can. However, I have somebody who's perfect for you to work with. And yeah, it's about knowing where your strengths are in this. And
Excellent. I suppose you've answered a lot of questions that was kind of creeping up in my mind. First thing that I detected was the fact that there's obviously a network effect in the training industry, right? If you don't know something, you probably know someone who does, and kind of, so I suppose you work together collaboratively that way. But speaking directly to you, and about the business itself, what has been the I don't know that's a cliche question, but you've developed something so far, you've built something so far, and based on your experience thus far, what has been the roadblocks you've had to overcome? Whether the knowledge of business is a knowledge of, like you said, you're doing a lot of training programs as well to develop your skill set. What has been the sticky points for you?
Good question. Well, I think if we break it down, we'll start with business, and then we'll go into knowledge and skill set. Business side of things, there's a lot of content out there which will say, you've got to do business this way. This is how you success. If I had a penny for every time I get served an ad on YouTube for saying this is the bulletproof way to make $1,000 this month, and when I moved over to working in fitness and starting the 1645 group, it was the reason why it was a good time to start my own thing, my own project, rather than going off and joining a big box gym or big corporation gyms and things, was because I just spent 8 years working in music. Now, for a lot of time of that, I had spent, working on digital platforms, working with artists, helping artists explore ideas of, if there's 3 people in the room, how do you take 3 people who like your music and sell out a 50-cap venue? How do you take a sellout of a 50-cap venue and grow that to selling out a 200-cap venue? And, it was a lot of those elements of like, I've got a group class. How do I get the 3 people that are in my group class to sell out this group class on a Tuesday night? And it's about implementing the exact same strategies from one industry to the next. There is no different. I have a product which, it used to be within music, and now it's within fitness. And it's like, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, geez, the Tuesday night's class is sold out, Thursday night's class is sold out. Let's open up more classes. Let's just grow, copy, paste, and expand. It's the business side of things. It's always been different. It's, you'll see it's,
are you comfortable in that space?
I love it.
Because I know you're a very creative person, but you're also very disciplined as well. But business has very many facets, right? If you're going to manage business, you have the accounting side of things, you have the marketing, HR, blah blah blah. Like, let's talk about accounting. Like, how do you manage your accounts?
To be honest, I'm quite fortunate. Both my parents ran their own businesses for a long time. So
right.
they put in ways and procedures for doing things. Spreadsheets, for instance, simple spreadsheets. All you got to do, Dan, is fill out A, fill out B, it works out C.
Yep.
And as long as you're staying on top of that and you're organized enough to keep that going, everything becomes easy as you're coming through. So it's, like we spoke about earlier on about having the network. The network isn't about having just within the fitness industry. It's about having a wide range of other entrepreneurs who run their own businesses or who have ran their own businesses. And the thing is like, it's not about, again, holding all the cards close to your chest here. It's about asking and learning and exploring about what they did, what they would have done if they could change it. Did they have anything that made life easier and quicker to streamline the work? So within the family, obviously, they've ran their own businesses for years, and so they found ways that made everything easy. So when the tax man came, you got everything sorted.
What did your parents do?
My mum was a freelance travel health nurse. So she ran her own website. She did a lot of kind of freelancing into different like clinics, travel clinics, and these kind of things. My dad was a freelance event organizer.
Nice.
So spent a lot of time doing the events. So it's probably where I get it from now. Like, yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Comes from somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was. They both had very hands-on jobs. They loved it, and so it was. Yeah, it was kind of a natural progression that I could actually do this. They both did it as well, and they steal the shortcuts. Keep friends from university who run their own businesses, and everything just seemed. It's just about learning. It's not about if something takes longer than it should do. It's about how do you streamline that and how do I make it quicker next time. It's not about like, oh man, this is a slog, I just don't want to do this. Like, the thing is I feel that when you're running your own business is that you've got to be in it 120%. You've got to live, breathe, and you've got to also learn how to switch off, which I'll put my hand up and say I definitely need to do. But
16:45.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, like there'll be days where, especially during lockdown, that you're working, the alarm goes off at 16:45, you take a pause and like, man, I've done so much today. And then next day, man, I've done so much today. And then next thing you know, it's 7 days, 8 days later, it's like, man, I've done hold a minute, I didn't stop. Like, that's why I've got so much done.
I'm absolutely guilty of that. Yeah, I'm guilty of that. Yeah.
And it's I can sit here and say, yeah, man, the process works. This does it. But the thing is, it does. But you've got to be able to take a step back and you've got to learn from what you're doing.
Here's a question. Isn't that the nature of building a business? I imagine, because I've read about certain entrepreneurs. Bill Gates, for instance, like when he was building Microsoft, there was this stuff about not taking vacation, which is neither here nor there. But I think the reality, like you just outlined, is that you kind of just keep going and you don't stop. Part of that is the love of what you're doing. You love it so much that it's like, it's fun. And it's also that element of building something, and it does require that tenacity. What is your take on that? Is it part of building a business? Is it just you do need to switch off now and again? Like, what's your take on that?
So the best way to look about it is the same way I would program a fitness program or a workout program. If a client's running for 12 weeks and they're running at 100% for 12 weeks, they are going to burn out. I will have a client gradually progress and they'll get strong, build more, the intensity will increase, and then you have that rest week, or you gotta take that time to rest. It's the same thing if you look on a 7-day schedule, for instance. If I'm running at 100% in the gym Monday through Sunday, and then I'm back to it again the next day, I'm not allowing enough time for my body to recover and to rest. And maybe it means that, if it means taking a day, 2 days, 3 days off to recover, then you'll see the gains increase. And it's the same thing, along a 12-week program, for instance. If you go in for 4 weeks, you take a little drop, you take a drop and you rest, and then you come back in again, you see the gains coming out of the back end of that. And it's because the body is allowing its time to relax and rest. And it's the same thing with business. Like, yes, we all get caught up with running running a sprint every single day because we enjoy what we do. We love what we do. And, it's that cheesy old saying, if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. So it's completely true. But the thing is, you've got to learn to just take a step back and just take a day or two off, and just because that then allows the mind just to recover. It allows it time. I mean, like, let's take yesterday for example. Yesterday, beautiful day, and I got some work done in the morning just to get ahead of some stuff, and then I took the rest of the day off. And I was, looked outside. It was beautiful. It was lovely. And I was like, you know what? We'll go out for a walk. And I was like, actually, you know what? No, I'm just not going to do anything. And it's like going out for the walk and just switching off. All of a sudden, it's just the mind resets, the body resets. And it's like, actually, you know what? I get up today and I'm like, right, we're back into it. Early call. Let's get this all sorted. We'll have this meeting, got meetings afterwards. And it's like, actually, you are more productive to take that rest day in the same way you're more productive to take that rest day throughout, a 7-day cycle, a 12-week cycle, or anything else.
Wonderful answer. Looking at 1645 as it is now, what's your lofty ambition for 1645?
Ooh.
Where do you see it going? What's your intention?
Well, the next steps are that we're continue to, we've got to wait until see what happens when we come out of lockdown. Once the gyms reopen, it's about getting back in there and helping clients. That is the first point of call. That's the short-term goals. From here through until Christmas, it's about helping those clients who, for the last year, have been stuck inside the house. And it's about helping them, be it through our group classes, through our one-to-one sessions, getting back on the rails for this journey of where they're going, and helping them rediscover the strength that they had, the fitness they had. I've already got more clients coming in as soon as the gyms reopen. So it's about helping the community, basically, of the 1645 group community, to get back onto this journey. That's the first goal. As soon as that is on track and we're moving, we're launching our on the 1st of March. Monday the 1st of March, we're launching our WODU programs. So WODU is, we've got 2 digital training, digital coaching programs that we're launching, which basically are monthly membership packages. Which there's WODU, which is you're given 3 workouts a week. You get access into the members area, and that is for anybody wanting to get fit, get healthy. It's to help you build that strength, that muscular endurance, that cardiovascular endurance as well. It's about, you get given your workout and you go for it. We've all been there, where you go to the gym where it's just like, you know what, I'm going to do the leg press, then I'm going to do the chest prep, and I do the same thing every single time I come in here. And it's about providing a little bit of structure to people's lives. And then we've got our Trifecta membership, which is a little bit more defined down to the client, which, you sit down, you have a digital consultation with a coach, and then you're assigned your workouts for the month, which align with the goal of what you want to achieve. So, that's the next step. The Trifecta membership is already live. The WODU is launching on the 1st of March. And then, that is just about taking from at the moment where we are with the community side of things, just working with clients on a one-to-one basis, and actually making it more accessible to clients nationally, globally, wherever from there. At the moment,
Fantastic.
yeah, at the moment those are the main focuses. It's first off to work at the heart of where the 1645 group is based, community based, and then taking it a little bit further. And it's like, actually, you know what, making this accessible to anybody. And we found that with our group classes. So at the moment, all our classes are all online. We've got boot camp on a Monday night, and then we've got yoga on a Tuesday and Thursday. And for those sessions, while primarily when those sessions were live, a lot of the clientele for that and the trainees were all local. But I mean, geez, now on a Monday night for boot camp, we've got people signing in from Germany. For yoga, we've got people signing in from Cardiff. That has been a massive blessing from this perspective of a lockdown, is that actually, you know what? It doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can still be part of a community to come together and train. So yeah,
that's gonna be my next question, actually, because how has technology impacted the business? Because, like I said, the lockdown has been, I suppose, it's been the sort of thing that's enabled the global community to kind of congregate to one spot. Like, for instance, like one of your classes, for instance. So how did you I suppose establish that reach of guys from Germany, guys from here, come to my class? How did that occur?
Absolutely. A lot of it's word of mouth. A lot of it is word of mouth. Probably more than I'm willing to admit is word of mouth. And it's one of those things that if you came to a class and you enjoyed the class and you come out of that class with that glow, that energy, and it's like, actually, you know what, geez, my mate around the corner, he would love to do this class. And then they tell his mate, they come along to the class, they're like, oh, I see what you mean. And I've got this other mate from around the other corner who would love this class. And that is, it's word of mouth. That is the basics of it. It's with regards to if you look at the 1645 group Instagram, for instance, there is not a lot of content on there. The whole idea is that we keep it minimal. There is a lot of noise that happens. For algorithms to pick you up and to be pushing you out to everyone else, you need to be posting 2-3 times a day.
And that's not it's not healthy, I would say.
No, yeah, it's not healthy. But if you're trying to grow a business and you've got a team that can do that for you, great, fantastic. But
it's not given.
Pardon?
It's not given.
No, exactly. And it takes a lot of work to get that snowball down the hill. And and so I won't lie to you, our Instagram sat there dormant for a year. Like, it just had just the logo on there. And I actually waited a good 12 months before announcing to people on my own personal social media platforms that I'd launched a 1645 group.
Why did you wait so long?
Because, if I'm really honest, because I didn't need to. I didn't need to start telling everyone that this is what I'm doing. This is, the people who knew about it, they knew about it. The ones who didn't know about it found out about it. And, it wasn't, I think the point, because I launched in the January, the February lockdown hit. I had friends and very close friends whose family were all affected by COVID. It's being told that, hey, I'm doing this. What do you think about this? This is me. This is what I'm doing. Everyone's got their stuff going on at the moment. It's everybody is dealing with this pandemic in in ways that nobody could ever, no one thought in our lifetime it would happen.
Absolutely.
It's
So was it a this is not the right time to do this? This is not the right time to
Yeah.
announce this, or was it also I want to establish, like you said, it took about 12 months to kind of put something on your Instagram. Was it just because, like I said, I think I understand your deliberation in the sense that because I've looked at Instagram and it's very disciplined.
Yeah.
Right? It has a
the OCD kicks in everywhere, man. if that logo is not aligned perfectly, man. No, it was more that I knew I could do this without having to shout on social media about it. It also combined with the same time of, people were like, see friends and they're like, man, why haven't you told everyone about the 1645 group? This is amazing. You need to be saying more about it. And I was like, then it comes to the point of like, but it's not the right time. It's not appropriate to me.
So why was, I think it was January, late January. Why was that the right time?
I think, to be honest, because it popped up on Facebook saying, hey, do you remember a year ago you started this page? And I'm like, geez, has that been a year? At the time when I launched it last year, it was very much like, it's not the right time. We'll wait and see how this goes. We were told it'd be a couple of months. It's all fine. I'm like, you know what? I can wait until the summer. That's fine. And then the summer came and it completely passed over my mind because this wasn't going away anytime soon. And then a year on, it's just like, oh, well, it's all there. I mean, it's an anniversary. I mean, if there's anything that's worth preaching about at this point, it's that. And I think, by that point, there was enough going on in my life with the 1645 group that, the clientele, the client base was strong. Clients were loving it. They were enjoying it. Classes were rolling out. There was more substance there for people to have a look into and just be like, hey, this is awesome. And rather than, reading the prologue to a book and then saying, oh man, this looks great, then you turn to chapter 1 and there's nothing there. It's
I like that.
That was
sorry, Karen.
No, go for it. I think I was going to just say, I think that was, it was partly I completely forgot to do it. And part because the main priority was everybody else is in such a sticky situation at the moment. We don't want to kind of come up. It's the same way as 2020, everyone had a bad year, theoretically, because of everything that went on. Absolutely. I came out of 2020 and I was like, Jesus. Sorry, I don't know if I can say swear.
It's cool.
And I was like, geez, I've had an amazing year. Like, it has been, I've just,
it was a blessing, basically.
It's a blessing. It's an absolute amazing.
Here's what I like about that story, right? It's because everyone's on Instagram, everyone's on Facebook, and everyone is pumping money. I'm guilty of this, pumping money into advertising, that sort of thing. And you basically, partly because you forgot, but also partly because you didn't need to. You established the foundation for your business word of mouth. You had an essence to what you were doing, and you kind of went a different route. And I like that because there is a lot of noise on Instagram, on social media, let's say social media generally, and it's hard to cut through that noise. So I guess the question would be, or my thoughts would be, how do you see social media enabling your business going forward? And because it's obviously like you've developed a one road strategy right now, word of mouth, let's say. How do you see social media enhancing what you're doing? Do you see it as a critical source of your growth?
I think so. I think, I will never do anything by the book. I will never follow the lines of what other people do and say until the point it probably needs to be done. Social media will be part of it. It will be that noise. I think the thing is especially within this industry, is that you've got a large volume of trainers, group classes, independent providers on your base level, your foundations. And then above that, you've then got all of these massive corporations that you'll be served adverts for on a daily basis every single time you switch on any social platform, be it visual or, whatever. And their marketing budgets are going to be huge. Their marketing budgets are designed. They can afford to give you, X month, X week free membership to use their platform at 100% because they are these big churning wheels. It's, can a independent trainer and coach compete with that? No, of course not. It's like, but the thing is, people are different with the way they want to coach, they want to train. People don't may not necessarily like the idea of a coach not knowing who they are. That, in my eyes, is the most crucial point of being a coach and a trainer. It's I keep saying it over and over again. The clients are first. The clients are first. It's about knowing who your clients are. What ticks, what do they do for work, and how is that going to either help us with our training or potentially become a threat within the training? Do they work long hours? Do they sit at a desk all day? It's these kinds of things. If a client sits at a desk all day, before we've even done finished our warm up, we'll go into a stretching and we'll do a little bit of yoga just to open up the back before we even look at our weight. It's social media will always be there. Social media will continue to grow. New platforms will come through. We've seen the rise of TikTok and how that's completely expanded in the last couple of years. I still remember musicians using it when it was Musical.ly. Social media will always be there. There will always be the need for content to be pushed and provided. Will I spend 6 hours a day taking videos and doing pictures just to post? Maybe. It's that is part of the What You package that we're offering come the 1st of March.
I mean, however, I do imagine that it's about, like you said, about what you need.
Exactly. And that's point in time. Exactly. And that's the whole thing. Within What You, every week there will be videos which explain to you how to perform the exercise correctly. There will be there's coaching techniques where I'm like, okay, you know what? This is where we're aiming for. On a scale level of 1 to 10, this is where you need to be doing. It's like having your coach there with you, but obviously there's just less of that interaction. However, that is using social media in a different way, in a different angle. It's, posting 3, 5, 10 times a day and half a dozen stories. I will never say never, but for the foreseeable future, it'll be an as and when. It's like my nan always said, don't say anything unless you've got something good to say.
Well, on that note, I want to thank you for being on this podcast.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me, man.
Because I think we scheduled an hour and I want to commit to that because I know you obviously have a lot to do as well today. But it's been a really wonderful conversation. Good to see you as well again.
Great to see you as well.
So we've got to catch up properly, informally, after the fact.
Definitely, man.
Well, yeah, I enjoyed learning about the 1645 and just what you've the amount of work you put in. I'm not surprised. Like I said, I think I know that disciplined side of your brain. Even though it might not be obvious to a lot of people, it was always obvious to me. So yeah, I wish you all the best with the 6045. I can see the intent in what you're trying to do, and it's a powerful thing because, especially in the climate we're in now, it's really about everyone trying to figure out precisely how they can be of service. Right. I mean, anyone can make money, but if you're doing something that's impactful and you're putting the client at the center of what you're trying to do, I think that's a wonderful thing. So yeah, I think the process you've gone through, to link back to the title of this podcast, is wonderful so far, and I know it's gonna keep going. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much for having me today, Tola. It's been great chatting with you.